Guys, Major League Baseball playoffs are underway. The football season is a quarter of the way through, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome Shawne Merriman back to the show, former All-Pro linebacker who played for the Chargers and now joins us to talk all things football. Shawne, I'm sure you heard what we were just talking about there. What's your 2 cents on the whole Shedeur Sanders pantomime situation yesterday?
It's you almost like don't know where to go with this situation, right? Because you damned if you do, damned if you don't. And, there's some things I absolutely don't like about what Shedeur did. I think I was talking about it before I came on the show, like, you wish he just gave a straight answer. Hey, I got to get out there, play football, and kept it easy. And he just added on. It's like throwing fuel on the fire that's already – I'm like this. I don't like giving people something more, right? Like you see somebody online, they're talking crap, they're going back and forth. Like if you don't respond to them, eventually they just go away, right? So if Shedeur just gives a very straightforward, short answer – all this thing goes away. Now he's back. Now he's the main talk on all the sports shows this morning, as we're talking about it right now. So you just wish that he just didn't give them ammo. Is it terrible? No, it's not terrible. But don't give them extra ammo because you're just furthering your way off the field every time it happens. So I'm just hoping now he learned from the situation where it's like, man, just don't get those dudes ammo. They're going to talk. They're going to say certain things. It's going to be that way, but just don't give them a little something extra to go on.
Shawne, you went up against a lot of quarterbacks in the league and in your career. When we're looking at Dillon Gabriel, obviously he's a shorter quarterback. Did that change the way you pass rushed them, knowing that they were shorter? Did that change how the defense attacked him?
Well, normally shorter quarterbacks got to have deeper drops because they can't see over the line of scrimmage. And if you look at some of the shorter quarterbacks, I played with one in Drew Brees. He's going to kill me for saying this, but, he was a shorter quarterback. And so, Drew would drop a lot deeper than a lot of guys because they can't stay so much in the pocket, right? And so, so there's certain things. But also, too, with him, it's things he has to adjust with his game because of his height. It's things that he has to do different because of his body structure and his height. So it works both ways.
Listen, it's so crazy. I probably should have looked at the rundown, but I probably should have looked at the rundown. And I didn't know you was on. And just last night, I was sitting there flicking through. I'd be in the YouTube time machine. And I saw you in the Kerry Hilson joint with Kanye West, and I said, "Oh, that's Shawne Merriman." With the joint on. I said, "Hold on." It was real quick. You had the joint like that. So I said, "Lights out is on here." I didn't even know that. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's just if you know, you want to check that out. When have you ever had a situation when you have gone from, say, for instance, a veteran quarterback to a rookie quarterback, or you switch quarterbacks? What is your mindset defensively when you say, okay, we got a quarterback switch? Do you go about the game differently? Like Myles Garrett and his defense is tremendous. So did the defense huddle up and say, hey guys, we got to do this or we got to do this? What is your mindset when a quarterback change happens?
Well, let me tell you, man, I don't care how great that defense is. Like, this is not the 2000 Ravens, right, where you can average 9 or 10 points on offense and still go to the Super Bowl. Those days are done.
Yep.
There's too many great quarterbacks down, too many points scored. So those days are completely done. But what you will do is have internal conversations in that defensive meeting room saying, guys, we got to step up. Like, if we let if we let this other team score, and we kind of got to be and on the front street now because we know they're going to struggle. But what happens is, and it happens in every single defense, I don't care how great the defense is, and that's why I referenced the 2000 Ravens. Mm-hmm. You can only go for so long, right? So, like, say you stop a great quarterback for 3 quarters, y'all stopping them, but the offense is doing nothing. The offense is trash. At some point in that fourth quarter, man, like, physically you're going to get tired. You're going to get mentally drained, emotionally drained. You put everything out there in it to put yourselves to win the game, and that's where a lot of teams fold. And eventually, when it happens game after game after game, that great defense starts to just be very average because you held up your end as long as possible, but it's not having no effect. And so this is, one thing I always said about Myles Garrett, man. Like, and I know he just signed that big deal, and I'm not saying that he should make any moves out of Cleveland, but if you just see what's going on there year after year after year, this dude deserves more. Like, you put Myles Garrett, man, on with the 49ers. You put Myles Garrett down there in Dallas. You put him anywhere to give him a better opportunity, because it's unfortunate that he's going to go down as one of the best defensive players of all time on one of the worst franchises of all time. And that is a tough pill to swallow because as great as we all know that Myles Garrett is, if you put him with anybody in the NFL that can score him, you put him on the Ravens right now and they're scoring 30+ points a game, good night. That dude might have 25 sacks a season because it works hand in hand with your offense being able to score. So you're in pass rush situations, man. So, kudos to him because that says a lot about him toughing it out, being in that situation, knowing that there's not a whole lot of upside in certain times.
Shawne, I'm curious, with you go from a veteran quarterback to a rookie, you go from a right-handed quarterback to a left-handed quarterback, a quarterback who's a complete statue to a quarterback who's got some mobility. From an offensive line perspective, how much of a challenge is it for them to protect for Dillon Gabriel?
It's as far as him being a righty or lefty is not going to make a whole lot of difference. It's going to be the cadence and the ability and how long certain guys hold on to the ball. Do they go through their progressions and then take off, or do they go to look at one place and then they take off running? So it's really getting used to who's back there other than him being a righty or lefty. So it's definitely cadence, because certain guys cadence, hard counts, silent counts. The cadence is different, so you got to get used to that. But does this guy go through the progressions, and when does he take off when things aren't open?
Right.
But they knew Flacco wasn't going to be like. I mean, come on, it's almost disappointing because you rather just go ahead and start Gabriel. I mean, we know and that's nothing against Flacco because he's had a great career.
Yeah.
But we know what he is at this point. And so what use, right? How good are you doing your team in these situations when you're Flacco should have been second or third string. That you should have him there if both of these two young guys just start stinking it up.
Yeah. And
then he has to come in. We know what Flacco is at this point. All you did is slow down the process of your two younger guys. Mm-hmm. So I would have had Flacco as the safety net if all else fails. But you're just slowing down the process of these two younger guys who could be starters for the next 5 to 7 years for you.
How about from a Brian Flores perspective of like what to expect from a rookie when you're preparing the Minnesota defense for this game?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like the Chargers going out and losing against Dart, right? You don't know what to expect. That's the crazy part. You don't have a lot of film on him. There's going to be some excitement because he's going to be able to do more than Flacco did. So, he's going to run for some first downs. He's going to get up excited. The rest of the team could feed off of that and use that as momentum. So you really don't know what they expect. And as for defense, we look at film, tendencies. Does this guy go through progressions? Is his feet balanced before the snap? Or is that a running sign as he's passing? These are the things that we look at as a defensive player, but you have nothing. You don't have a whole lot on him, and I think that the Chargers fell victim of that same thing with Dart. That team, that the Giants fed off of him coming out there with energy, and it could be the same situation here.
We talk about this, Shawne, and offensive line play. Now, when you look at it nowadays, I feel like. We had Ross Tucker on, and we feel like defensive ends nowadays, I don't know if it's in the water or it's just the fact that you got better athletes just every single year. Like, you even take a look at, I played in the early 2000s. Like, in the 90s, it was, bro, you had that Bruce Smith type of body build. Bruce Smith looked like an old deacon. in the church or somewhere, bro. But you start getting cats like y'all.
Bad man.
Yeah, he was bad, but he had good grown man strength. But y'all started coming around late 2000, 2010. Y'all was twitched up. You didn't know if they played linebacker or stand up.
That's true.
And then all of a sudden, guys is starting to come off both edges, and this is crazy.
Who was the Steelers had a linebacker who was like 300? Was it Levon Kirkland? They had a linebacker who was like 300 pounds.
Levon Kirkland.
I don't know.
Yeah, Levon Kirkland was a big guy.
Yeah, some big dudes.
But now I look at these is the queens on the chessboard, Sean. Now, if you got a defensive end like that, they can't do nothing with them. It's wrecking the plays. Where's the evolution?
So let me tell you, man. This offseason, I got invited to Max Crosby's, Cam Jordan, and Von Miller sack summit. It was out here in Vegas, and the game. The cool thing about me being out there is that I actually saw why these guys, the evolution. I saw why they're so much better than even we were. For one, these guys are sharing information. Like when I was playing, we ain't want to tell nobody nothing. Like. I wanted to lead the league in sacks. No. I'm not telling you nothing, right? I don't care who you are. Like, I want to lead the league in sacks. So for one, they just got a lot more cooperative on what moves and what counters, what plays, stands, signs, position. I mean, they share a lot of information too because of the quarterback change from being like mobile and can throw. See, back when I played, you can either do one or two. You can either a mobile quarterback or you can throw. The other one stand in the pocket, and the other one's going to take it and run. And so we didn't have the Lamar Jacksons. We didn't have, Michael Vick then was the only, but that was it. You couldn't really do both. I mean, even the guys like Patrick Mahomes can hurt you with his legs. He's not a runner.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, the list goes on, and guys who can hurt you running the football now. So in a sense, your pass rush moves, your pass rush positioning, your lanes, all these things change now because you're not just going back there knowing you can get a guy every time. You're going back there with the ability knowing that he can take that ball and tuck it and run for 25. And so we didn't have that. So the game had to change the styles of body. I mean, I played at around 265, 270, which is a big outside linebacker. I played DN too, but that was a big outside linebacker. These guys now, like Myles Garrett, I mean, dude, he looks ridiculous when I saw him in person. He's like, like for me to sit there and say like, yo, you look ridiculous. That is ridiculous for me to say that, right? And so, the game has just changed drastically when you have the offense side of the ball that's also progressed at the same time.
Sean, first of all, Sean, I want to say shout out to your Terps, man. They look good. You know what I'm saying? I got the little freshman quarterback Malik Washington doing his thing. You got the two DNs, edge rushers doing their thing. I said, watch out for Maryland this year. I want to give you a shout out to that.
Appreciate it, man. I was with Mike Loxley before the season started. I was spending some time with him back in Maryland, and he was telling when he was talking to me, it was unlike the hype stuff he was giving me years before. Right, when he said, we got a good team. Watch out for this kid, Malik Washington. Watch out for these pass rushes. He remind me of you. And I was like, yeah. I heard that. I've been hearing that for the last couple of years. It was something about how Mike Loxley was talking about this team and their cohesiveness and like the way that they're approaching the season and them going out winning against Wisconsin, man, was big. It was a statement game.
Yeah. So let me ask you about obviously the Browns is playing in London? Yeah. In London. Yep. How does that change things? I don't know if you ever got a chance to play overseas or not, but how does that change, like, obviously the week of preparation, knowing that you got to fly out and trying to remain locked into the game and knowing that you in a different country?
It really depends on the team and the day they travel, right? Like, I think the Chargers only went out a couple of days before they played in Brazil. And so – it really, when they get there and try to get them acclimated to that time difference, and so that makes a big key. Other than that, it's just a game. You get out there now, the field conditions could be different. I forgot exactly where they're playing. I think there was some kind of complaints before out there about the field conditions. But other than that, the timing is everything. Once you're out there, you get acclimated to that time difference, you're ready to go.
Shawne, we appreciate it. Before you go, I know you got another big fighting event coming up here, November 1st, right?
Got a huge one coming up November 1st. Lights Out Extreme Fighting 28. We just finished Lights Out Extreme Fighting 27. 2 Saturdays ago. Our biggest show for sure. We just had one of our guys on Dana White Contender Series 2 nights ago, who just came from us, and then we had Santiago Luna that fought the UFC 2 or 3 fights ago. So we're having these next up and coming superstars. So make sure you guys check us out. Lights Out Extreme Fighting 28 will be in Long Beach, California, but y'all can watch it live on Lights Out Sports TV. Make sure you download that on every smart TV, iOS and Android.
There you go. November 1st is the date. Thanks, Shawne. We appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.